Okay, what is Rolfing? Well, basically, it's the most incredible body work you'll ever hope to experience in your life. Okay, I'm a Rolfer, so I'm just a little bit biased on that one. But technically, it's a type of body work that aligns the body so that gravity becomes support and not a burden. That's me and Sandy up there. Okay, this is the little Rolf Boy logo. It's actually based on before and after photos of a 6-year-old child who was Rolfed. So if you compare the logo as a stack of building blocks, it's really easy to see that the position of one can affect the other. Rolfing was started by Dr. Ida P. Rolf in the 50s. She had a PhD in biochemistry and hailed from the Bronx. She liked her work to be called structural integration, but everybody else called it Rolfing, so the name just took. And eventually she gave it her sanction in the late 70s. Okay, what Rolfing is not. It's not Rolfing at the frat party. It's not deep, excruciatingly painful body work. It's not rolling on the floor laughing, ROFL, and it's not that other kind of massage, wink, wink. Rolfing was spoofed in a movie called Semi-Tough in the 70s. Burt Reynolds played a football player who was sent to Dr. Pelf for some pelfing. She chases him around the floor, and he's horrified. She's chasing him with her elbow in an obvious parody of Dr. Rolf. This is Esalen Institute in Big Sur, California. It's a holistic retreat. Some of the earliest Rolfing classes were taught there. One of Ida Rolf's most famous clients was Dr. Fritz Perls, founder of Gestalt therapy. He had a serious heart condition and credited Dr. Rolf with saving his life. This is fascia. This is really what it's all about in Rolfing. It's a very strong connective tissue. It's made of collagen, and it goes around every muscle fiber, every muscle, and every muscle group. Kind of like a big body stocking around the body. So we sort of worship fascia in Rolfland. Rolfers use their knuckles and their hands and their elbows to slowly and gradually work on areas of the body that have been constricted through injury, through stress, through repetitive motion. All those things tend to really shorten and tighten the fascia. You can't really work on fascia without working on the muscles because they're all there together. And if you look at this cute little sweater vest, you can see that where there's a pull in one part, the end of the pull is somewhere else. So your pain is not reliable. We like to say that also in Rolfing, it's like the fascial net is like a spider web, and we Rolf the spider web and not the spider. These are some before and after shots of people who've been Rolfed. I think you can see the differences, and a big part of Rolfing is getting a lift of the body up off of gravity. It's usually done in a series of 10 sessions. The first 3 sessions of Rolfing we call the superficial sessions. They deal with the outer layers of the body. The emphasis is on creating more respiration. We work a lot around the rib cage, working on the feet and the legs to give the body support, and working the lateral line of the body, which gives it the beginning of length and lift. The middle 3 sessions are the deep sessions, or the core sessions. They get into the areas of the deep pelvis, the abdomen, the thorax, the neck, and the head, and even the face. This is probably a 7th session, which concentrates on the head and neck, and that's Robert Schleip, a wonderful Rolfer from Munich. The last 3 sessions are called the integration sessions, and they connect the work that's come before. Rolfers often use some movement in these sessions, and you can see here with my great model, Peter Tondrick, which some of you might know. Anyway, here, Rolfing has a reputation of being painful, but if you look at these children being Rolfed, they look like they're kind of having a good time. It's really good for the elderly as well. In fact, my oldest client right now is 95. That's Dr. Peter Schwind on the left, and of course, Ida Rolf on the right. Rolfing attracts a vast array of people, a lot of them athletes, and you may recognize some of the Olympians up here. It's really helpful for them in dealing with the injuries that they get when they're training, but it's really preventative as well because it gives them more flexibility and joint movement. Ida Rolf worked on some famous people, Georgia O'Keeffe and John Denver. John Denver was a big fan. He donated money to the Rolf Institute, which is a nonprofit in Boulder, Colorado. Greta Garbo was Rolfed by one of the earliest trained Rolfers. Initially, she didn't like the work on her face, but then when the Rolfer showed her a mirror, she changed her mind. Rolfing Movement is also used. Not all Rolfers are trained in it, but many are. We work with clients to teach them more ergonomic ways to use their body. It's good for everybody, but particularly for people like musicians because they have very repetitive jobs. Most Rolfers today are cross-trained in other modalities, and we integrate that into the work. The most common are cranial sacral work, which you see here. Also working with visceral manipulation, which works with the organs. And then also there's work with the nerves and the vascular system, the arteries and the veins. In the 70s, Rolfing was really connected very heavily with psychotherapy as a complement to it. And the idea is that as your body gets freed, your emotions get freed as well, because we tend to harbor past traumas in our muscular tissue, so when that gets released, it helps. This is my depressed stance. When you're depressed, it makes a lot of difference how you stand. The worst thing you can do is stand up straight and hold your head up high because you'll start to feel better. If you're going to get any joy out of being depressed, you got to stand like this. And that's Rolfing in a nutshell.